I think it's time we stop. Hey, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. Going down. There's battle lines being drawn, and nobody's right if everybody's wrong.
I've not done one of these in quite a while, purely because it's, you know, a lot of things get said, a lot of stuff gets spouted around, and I just didn't feel the need to have to respond to any of it, to be honest. But then the club came out being quote unquote transparent, which when reading it is not transparent at all. It's alluding to things and setting setting people on a path that isn't actually factually correct or even true. The auspice from my perspective is they're trying to deflect from the current situation that they're going through, which is fine, but if you're going to be transparent, then be transparent. Don't talk crap. They're basically trying to say that the reason the team's doing badly at the moment, or my view on it is the way they're presenting it, is the team's doing badly at the moment because Lee left them in the crap. That's absolutely not true. I've got emails going back to the 10th of May where the club were asking whether or not there were certain, I'm not going to go into his contract, but there were certain release clauses in Lee's contract to do with performance. And they're asking whether they could still be exercised. So the club were looking to see whether or not they could part company with Lee. I'm not saying Lee wasn't also thinking, this is not what he signed up to and things like that. But to present it in a way that it's just Lee, and that's why they're having trouble. No players, etc. That's just absolute codswallop. He was on a contract, so if you want to keep him, you say to him, well, you've got another year left. And if the manager's asking to leave, you don't then pay him out. So the club paid him. Again, I'm not going to go into the ins and outs of it, but there was a payment made to Lee for for him to be released from his contract. So it was a mutually agreed situation. As for players, I know for a fact there were 6 players that had their options taken up. Obviously, when the gaffer leaves, players also may not want to hang around and wait, or what they signed up to, what they believe was going to happen may not have happened. So the club had from the 10th of May to the 28th of May, which is 18 days, to secure those players or to talk to those players. So to lay it on Lee's door is just unfair. I'm not saying he wasn't as mutually happy to leave as the club were mutually to part company with him, but to present it that owner leaves and then the manager walks out and we're a month behind with our recruitment, well, that's down to the management committee, the people that are running the club at the time, to deal with that 18-day period. Then we come on to the Winter Survival Fund loan. Again, I don't know why people are surprised about it. On this channel, January 20, when did I do that? 2021. So January 2021. I did a whole thing about it. Did a whole thing about the fact that we were supposed to be getting grants. We were supposed to be getting this funding from National Lottery, and it didn't appear. And then we ended up having to take loans. So it's not a surprise. And that's alluded to, there's a loan and, we're struggling financially. People are asking about where the money went from the Legends game, where the money's gone from the season. Suggest you ask the club where all that money went. Don't start looking at me to have bagged it or done anything with it. And the one that I think the worst thing about this transparency for me on that point, because it's directly trying to allude to the fact that I've left the club in a massive debt. First off, then I have to start paying it back till 2025. What have I got down here? What's the date? January, February, March. In May, I think it is. I think May 2025 they have to start making repayments. The debt gets paid back over 16 years, and that equates to roughly, I think, about £8,600 per annum, per year, not per month, per week, whatever. Sorry, 8,600. Yeah, £8,600 per year is what the club need to pay back over a 16-year period. So I don't, the club can't afford to pay 8,000 a year in 2 years' time. I think that's the least of its worries, personally. So whatever financial implications they have, or whatever they've done since, or season ticket money, or whatever people are asking questions about, I suggest they direct those to the club rather than taking something which is apparently transparent, and giving the fans all the information they need to know to make a judgment call, because it's complete horseshit how they're trying to spin it and present it. It's just not true. I see Graham's been appointed yesterday, so I've known Graham not a long time, but our paths have crossed, and we're in we have similar football interests as far as business is concerned. So always found him to be a very sound, straight guy. So hopefully he's going to bring some integrity to the management committee, because the statement they put out the other day has zero integrity, zero facts, and zero basis. So let's see what happens next.